Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. Hopefully you can hear me alright over the vehicles driving by and the lawnmowers on either side of me. It was like snowing a day ago, a day and a half ago. Now it's like 70. So there's all kinds of noise, and I'm going to do the best that I can. So this is an Aries reading for May, and I don't have a set spread for this month. Basically just going over and learning the new decks that I've got. I don't like the way this is set here. I think that's a little better. So I got two new decks about a week or so ago, and in order to practice with them, I'm using them for the reading. So I've got this new Starseed Oracle deck, and I've been compelled to combine it with the Work Your Light Oracle here. So I've got this big double deck now, and I also got the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck. So that's this round deck here. And to get an idea of what the reading is about specifically, as an overview, I've got my bucket of charms here. God, it's noisy. Now I know I usually do these at like 2 in the morning. Because the charms and these oracle decks kind of push the reading into more of a like emotional, higher dimensional, multi-dimensional chakra level, I've grabbed some tarot just to round out the reading and finish it off. So I've got the Legacy of the Divine Tarot here for that. So, sorry, I'm almost snuffly. I didn't realize there was going to be so much noise with 2 windows open. Okay, so I'm all discombobulated. First, I went to clear the decks and shuffle them out, and I realized that I was pulling for Taurus, and Taurus comes after Aries, because I'm doing them in order, but I was like, hold on a minute, it's not your turn yet, so that threw me off. And then I was about to start reading, and there was like loud noises coming from inside the house, so I had to wait, and now there's loud noises coming from outside the house. So, my brain is gone, but I'm ready to focus and get Aries their information. I think what's happening is that Aries, there's an energy surrounding Aries where they don't want to look at their own information, or they're resisting input to some extent. It's like, you know, I want help, but I don't want anybody to scrutinize me. That kind of, like, I'm sitting on my secrets energy. Like, oh, I can't do it right now because I've got this to do and that to do and that to do and this other thing. Kind of the feet dragging. Okay, so look at these charms here. So I have charms that came out face down. These are inverted. And then I have some that are upright. So let's look at the upright ones first. So the first one I'm looking at is Gizmo. And mackerel. And I just realized that I sell these charms that I probably can't use him because he's a trademarked character. For me, Gizmo represents paying attention to details, right? You have to follow the rules. You can't, you got to keep him out of the daylight, you can't feed him after midnight, and you can't get him wet. And I see, to go with him, this microscope, right? It's like you got to look at the details, like zoom in and look at what's really going on. But also in the movie Gremlins, they had this sort of sketchy science teacher who took one of the little babies that came off of Gizmo's back and was trying to examine its blood and stuff under the microscope. And it also could, like, Aries could feel like they're under a microscope. You know, like Aries is this new, unusual thing that's kind of in the spotlight, and there's like this pressure going on. Also because there's a podium here, right? Some kind of public appearance, public speaking, could be performing, or again just like under scrutiny, everybody's looking at you, right? Like I've got to lead a Zoom and I'm freaking out about it. Everybody's gonna be looking at me under a microscope, right? All eyes are on me. This can also be the third eye, but it's just like it looks like a huge eyeball in comparison to these other things, right? It's the size of Saturn over here. And also when you're looking at a microscope, you know, typically you can only use one eye at a time unless you got one of those binocular fucking things. We also have the Ace of Swords, or just a sword. Apparently it's definitely the Ace of Swords right now, and this has to do with the throat chakra, right? Like perhaps I need to speak my truth, and then people are gonna be like, you said what? What? Let me put this over here. So this is a chalet, and it could be indicative of a house or a shelter of some kind. Or it could be like, I want to go on vacation. Ooh! Look at this. Okay, look at this. So we have Saturn, right? So look, and Beetlejuice, right? They can't leave the house or they end up on Saturn, right? There's rules, right? You spend 125 years in this house, blah, 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 and you haven't even read the manual. But it's like, hey, look, you've been to Saturn, I've been to Saturn, we're simpatico. Right? This is a vacation. But there's still rules. There's something dangerous and insidious involved. And that way I'm getting devil energy. Right? There's some kind of, something's bound up in there. And my battery's going. God damn it. This is what I'm talking about. Aries keeps having all kinds of problems that's delaying this exposure. Oh, this looks like a little paw print. Look at this. How cute is that? So this is inverted. This is the stick a fork in me, I'm done. Could also be like handbook for the recently deceased, but this is inverted, right? 10 of Swords inverted is like I'm starting to come out of this. I've completed a cycle where I'm being constantly stabbed in the back, right? It's like Aries might think it's just going to be more stabby if people really look at what I'm into, like my personal space. like not realizing that there's a completion here. Okay, so I'm also thinking that this card is kind of like the devil, right? Stick a fork in me, and being stuck, being bound is a similar energy. But again, this 10 of Swords type of energy is coming in inverted. This is the Sun in Gemini, but with it inverted, I'm getting more like it's sort of like you don't have a choice to keep a lid on your secrets, but it's also there's a healing involved in your truth escaping to some degree, right? The binding is sort of like I'm putting a lid on it, like I'm not going to speak up. So we have the Wheel inverted. This is Jupiter energy, which is also a 10. Put it up here so the paw print pattern kind of stays. No, okay, that's all right. Jupiter and Saturn have been traveling through Aquarius, which has to do with like collective consciousness. Aquarius also rules the star and the Fool because it's Uranus energy. So there's this kind of balance between what everyone might, how people perceive you, like what your reputation is, and then just sort of being able to take that leap and like let go and start over, or like start the next cycle. But there's also this like a little bit of luck going on, right? Because the Wheel can be luck as well. You know, it's like I've been stabbed in the back so long, I've felt so unlucky, right? Because it's been in reverse. But there's 2 completions there already. So then we have the peace sign inverted. Now, when I got this inverted before, I said it in these readings, I was like, oh, it's algae, it's resistance, right? Resistance to, I mean, it could be resistance to the completion, resistance to what was I going to say? To your, you know, the details of your personal area, right? It's like I only let people know so much about me, or nobody knows what I do, you know, like people don't really know the real me kind of a thing. Like they just judge me based on like the rules of engagement kind of. But this could also be aside from resistance, it could just be peace inverted, right? It's been threatening and hostile. And then we have the World. The World inverted. Earth inverted. I was going to say the World card is Saturn energy again. But I'm also seeing it, if this is a 10 and this is a 10, what could that be? This lack of peace can come in, it could come in as like a 10 of Wands. And then this would come in as 10 of Pentacles inverted. Like I don't have what I want. But these don't have to be 10s just because they're round. This World energy does have to do with Aquarius energy. Like I'm leaving this world behind. Like toodaloo, motherfucker. What else would be Earth? The planet, grounding, lack of grounding. could deal with anxiety as well. Okay, so we'll see where the rest of the spread brings it with this information. Also should point out that I've been getting a lot of fairy tales as like downloads and parables for these May readings. So I'm not that surprised to see movies coming out, although both of them are kind of like horror comedies, which is a genre that isn't that popular right now. Right, like specifically horror comedies. There was a lot of them in the 80s and early 90s, but not so much anymore. So that it might be for an Aries that was born during that time period, or something happened to you in that time period. Or if you're younger, it might be that you've seen one of these movies or something like that. Or just that the themes are relevant. We need these oracle cards. So we have Star Family. This is like the third time I've seen this one. It's come up in reverse as well. You're part of a team of souls. Call in support. Right, this is like I'm dreaming that I'm giving a speech, but I'm naked. Like I'm all alone, everybody's looking at me. This is, there's more. You didn't know there were more. There were 2 of us, did you? You didn't know there were 4 of us. Like, now I'm not so vulnerable. But there's a confusion and delay or resistance. So we have cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. Also, confusion, delay, or resistance. But this cracked open is very much like the rock bottom is like overkill. I am deceased. I can't take anymore. And we can see that this is what causes the cycle to complete. Like, it's a resistance to the same pattern. It's like, I've had it up to here. It kind of reminds me of the movie Basketball, where Squeak is like, man, I swear to God, if you guys rip on me 13 or 14 more times, I'm out of here. In the Work Your Light deck that I combine this with, there's a card that says, let me see if I can find it. It's called, was it called the Ever Unfolding Rose or something like that? Because now that it's like 100 deep, it's going to take me a second to find it. Here it is. The Ever Unfolding Rose, cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. Right? It's like, this is not necessarily like a personal attack, even though it can feel like it. But I'll get... okay, I should read those cards, though. Let's start with cracked open. Don't let the weight and density of the world squash your tender spirit. Instead, let it call even more of it home into your body. It's through extreme pressure of life's trials that diamonds are cultivated. So when things are at their darkest, that we cultivate proper faith and our light is ignited. And faith here means, for me, more in yourself. Right? It doesn't have to be tied to a particular spiritual or religious practice. Right? It's like, oh, I can't take it anymore. I can't go on. Why does everyone hate me? It's like, they're not going to like me if they find out what's really going on, right? They're all sandworms. But it's the faith is having a little bit of confidence in yourself. It's also, you know, getting in touch with your higher self and being able to ground at the same time. It's through the crumbling that we can allow our wounds to be alchemized. Let your pain, sorrow, and losses make you, not break you. And sometimes it can be quite painful. Right? I mean, think of what, like the fear and confusion and haphazard path that the characters Barbara and Adam went through in Beetlejuice, right? Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis. They were, you know, extremely... God damn it. Interrupted by some more noise there from the package being delivered downstairs. Oh, I was talking about the characters in Beetlejuice, right? They were sort of naive. They were ill-prepared for death. They weren't really focused on the details. And they ended up, you know, having a little adventure. Chaos ensued. Right? They overkill, right? They ended up being exorcised. Death for the dead. And after, you know, being just almost torn apart, they ended up like gaining... They ended up having their own, like taking back their power, kind of. Right? They were able to turn around immediately from this place of utter defeat and say, no, I have power. Like, I didn't think I did, but I do. Like, stepping into themselves, right? Working together as a team. Let your trials, your sorrows, your pains, and your losses transform you into more and more of yourself. I mean, that's not exactly the best example, but Beetlejuice, I mean. But it's just this aspect of once you hit essentially the worst pain that you've had in your life, what are these other people really going to be able to do to you that you haven't already done to yourself or experienced, like, in your own personal mental and physical space? Let me just skim Star Family again in case there's some important information for Aries. Family. Okay. Your star family are those souls who are cut from a similar cosmic cloth. You haven't just experienced lifetimes together, your souls were once actually one. It's common for star family members to incarnate at similar times, to work with anchoring a similar frequency. If I could speak correctly. It says you know that someone is part of your star family when you feel like you know and remember them from the moment you meet. Familiarity, comfortable. Sort of out of time when you're with them, which is an aspect of Saturn, Chronos. You feel more yourself with them than with anyone else, right? Whereas away from this star family energy, out in the general population, it's like I feel scrutinized. Like I don't want to be myself. It feels scary. So it says when this card comes up, it feels like you're about to meet someone or already have. Here it's, I'm getting, it's like, with this inverted, it's like you've met them a while ago, but this fear of being discovered prevented making the connection. And it's not until this rock bottom cracking open happens that you're like, oh, wait a minute. I should have read that in the manual that I was supposed to talk to them. Alright, so let's get into these archetype cards. So I think that's supposed to be agape. But I could be wrong. But for now, we're just going to go with that until I remember to look it up. So we have agape, potentially. Oh, okay, I remember how this is directional now. I think it goes this way. Okay. And the Starborn, as if this wasn't already. And I did mention, didn't I mention Aquarian energy as the star? I'm getting kind of Uranus energy here, but that is Aquarius. So that blue-green color. Could also be Neptune, which would be the subconscious. And also the vision, which would be in the subconscious. I've had this a couple times, but it's been several readings, so I might have to read it again. This vision to me is like, I remember in the past when we lived in this other planet or time, space-time, and it's like, this is me and this is you and we're part of the same family. Look, even our hands are similar. Right? Hey, you look familiar. We look like we're the same kind of people. So 3, the Starborn, 55, the Vision, and whatever the hell this number is here. 72. So that 12 times 6. Okay, so I'm going to start with the Starborn. Also, look at this, cracked open. Right? I need to come out of my shell in order to fully realize why I'm here. Correct. Oh, okay. When this card appears, don't be surprised if you receive a surge of desire for a long-lost dream. That's the Vision. When you haven't visited since childhood, let this desire shake you up. So when I was talking about you might have met a member of your star family a long time ago in this life, you could have met them in childhood or at a time when you were feeling more naive, which could be like a week ago or 5 years ago or 20 years ago, depending. The Starborn archetype points to the cosmic spark of light that arises with each being at birth. It mentions crowning as in terms of being born, but it makes me think of crown energy. It's sort of like this energy of like, oh, I have to, like, I'm under a microscope. I have I have to speak some major truth. I have to wield this sword. I have to publicly speak. It's sort of like people are looking at you like you're some kind of king, right? But it might be like they think it's a joke, or it's like a King of the Hill game where they just want you up there so they can knock you down. So there's an aspect of feeling like there's some kind of destiny, a purpose, aiming itself toward a future that is beyond the mundane, which might be why there's like a public view or persona. Right? You might have a public job, you might be, you know, a little bit or a lot bit famous. You might be overseeing a large group of people, like a manager or something like that. Okay, it says, when this card appears, travel back to your birth story for clues and insight, and that includes, like, your natal chart, or literally, like, if your parents told you, like, what your delivery was like. So, or just, like, back to when your earliest memories of what you wanted. What did you desire when you were young? Practice seeing your life from a mythic point of view rather than as a series of logistics. Right? It's like what, like, not like all the little stuff that happened to you. Like, you know, I had stitches when I was 4. I broke my leg when I was 8, and you know, these were my friends, and I went to school, and all this. It's what did you want? What were you dreaming of? What did you want to be when you grew up? Okay. So it's talking about that, and then just this idea of feeling like there's a destiny, like there's some purpose. Like, why is this so, why can't I be myself? What's wrong with me? Why am I not fitting in with everyone else? Why are they looking at me weird? So I'm going to skip to the vision. The vision. 55. Oh, here it said that we were each born with a unique vision, a destiny towards which we are aimed. We forget this vision the moment we are born. I can't believe how well these cards go together. Thus we are sent on a lifelong journey of rediscovery. Right, so the vision is sort of hazy, right? It says elusive here, right? Because it's like it guides you, but you can't remember it. It's like right on the tip of your tongue. Strange dreams, surreal images, and some of that's synchronicities as well. Seemingly unattainable and preposterous. Oh my god, noise! Motorcycles. When we are connected to the vision, we carry an inspired, enchanted aliveness that others recognize. We trust the world in its synchronicities. We all want to be near those with vision. They emit energy more potent than any elixir, which might be why there's this sort of like public cluster going on over here. Okay. So fully losing connection to the vision and not even getting the synchronicities or anything, it's like it can result in burnout, which is some of this energy, but it's also just this, you know, like, I don't want to say common, but it's just there's a generic or general earth bound soul kind of energy that's different than star connected energies. And it's true that a lot of Earth type energies probably had lifetimes in star systems. It's like not recently, or it's not one of their lifetimes that they have access to. But if you're carrying this direct star energy in your lifetime right now, like you've been out there more than here, or very recently, it's like people can smell. It's like smell-o-vision. They can smell that you've got it, and they're like, what are you doing? What are you about? Like, tell me all your secrets. What do you, like, how do you get dressed in the morning? How do you brush your teeth? What's it like when you go to the bathroom and all this stupid shit? You know, like, you're not a real person. So let's look at agape, and again, if I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'll either remember to look it up online or somebody will tell me. Here it is. Okay. So it's devotion and unconditional love. Let me see, there's some candles here. Votive candles. Agape can also be felt as an overwhelming love of family, partner, community. Recognize it by a deep swell of gratitude. That's the sensation that lets, especially when it landed on the Star Family card, this is the sensation that tells you that, you know, that tingling sensation means it's working. That's how you recognize each other without having a clear view of the vision. All right, it's like, you look familiar, but I can't place you. Like, well, then maybe we don't know each other. It's like, no, we do, because of this, right? We're connected. Although this looks like the part of meiosis and mitosis, the way it's coming, like the whatever. But let's see. The Greek word agape informs the English word agape. To have the mouth agape is to be awestruck by something of breathtaking delight. We are made humble once again. Right? It's like, oh my God, I can't believe you're here. I haven't seen you in like 8,000 years. I haven't seen you since before I was born. Oh my God, what are you doing? How's the kids? You know, like, how did you get here? That, like, awestruck, starstruck, right? Okay, so it's talking about connecting to the spiritual. Instead of putting yourself at the center, it's like, it says, and I quote, what if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? So it's not to say that you have to worship anything, whether you're religious or not, or atheist or not. It's sort of like getting outside of yourself for a second and reconnecting to the macrocosm. Right, look at these vistas, holy crap. Hey, it's like I haven't looked at the auras around the trees in a while. They're really popping off, you know, that kind of thing. Right, it's kind of like if your pet is loving on you, it's in that particular moment there's no expectations. Right? There's an unconditional aspect. It's also talking about it as being like an initiation. Okay. Where's that? Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form and like a healing balm to the modern soul. Its effects last a lifetime. Okay. So it says the agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. You know, like it could be like celebrities, it could be a way of life, it could be material things, right? What do you like? Do you bow before corporate society? Do you bow before, you know, like, do you ship certain relationships of people or characters, that kind of thing? It's like, what are you elevating? Where does the sacred ladder you climb ultimately lead to? Right? So it's a state of love that's kind of like heart exploding calmness and peace, right? Excitement without creating a separation, right? It's like, ooh, I love this, but I can't have it, or, you know, I can only imagine it. It's like I'm going to be here in the moment and experience like a pure connection to myself, to, you know, the cosmos, to the trees, to the ground, you know, to a person that I know is part of me. All right, so I'm going to stop that there and let's look at this tarot. So we have the Six of Cups inverted. This to me goes with this Star Family card, right? I remember you from a long time ago, but this card inverted also is like not romanticizing the past. Right? It's like part of this agape energy is I'm not worshiping this previous lifetime or what I was doing in my life, you know, 2 years ago or 5 minutes ago or when I was little. Right? It's like I need to remember this sort of childlike innocence where this energy stays, right? Where this, right, children tend to exist in this agape energy more often, but it's also indicating this past connection to the Star Family itself. Right? It's like I'm trying to hold this vision, but I can't I can't see the faces. I can't remember the whole thing. Eight of Cups. Right? This is Piscean energy, Neptune. The subconscious. I'm walking away from emotional trauma. This is the cracked open. I guess it can go here. The cracked open, right? I'm coming out of this energy. The Fool. Right, there's that Aquarian energy again. Uranus energy. Right, I'm going into I reckon that giant vehicle that just went by was going at least 10 over the speed limit. So the Fool is like, I've started the new cycle and I'm holding on to the parts of the vision that I can still maintain, right? The Starborn and the Fool are connected in the Syrian Starseed Tarot, because the Fool card is called Starseed. And it's like a little comet bringing the soul down into Earth. And this fool in particular is floating above the Earth, right? This is where he's coming from. He's coming from the sky. He's coming from up in the stars. Right? It's like getting back to the root of your journey. But I do want to get another card for the Six of Cups, because I think there's a little bit more there. I don't know how many segments I've had to make for this video. The Sun in a challenge position. I just heard daylight come and me want to go home. That was from that was in Beetlejuice too. Right, it's like it's a new dawn, it's a new day. Like I'm gaining enough illumination that I'm in a place where I could be happy. The Sun breaks down to 10. It's 19. 1 and 9 is 10. That answers this completing a cycle. Right? I'm right at the precipice of yesterday and tomorrow. And the way that I put it down here, right? Yesterday is the Six of Cups inverted, and then the Fool is the tomorrow part. It's also the card right before Judgment, which is clearing out the karma and starting, like we're done with this. We're not even like we're done. We've done a lot of chapters and now we're done with the book. We're going to move on to the next reading level, or what, you know, we're going to we finished the syllabus. This card also, some people say it's the soulmate card, so I do think that's also related to the star family. So, Aries, this kind of fully distracted, stuff cutting in, interrupted energy is like, and then the sort of resistance. It's a little bit like, I don't want to feel the pain of being fully cracked open. Right? The 8 sour cups is hard enough to deal with. I'm not sure I'm ready for 10 swords. But the issue is that this isn't available until the sky breaks, right? What is it? The dawn breaks on the sky. Like each morning, Ra has to decapitate Set with a knife so that the day can happen. It's like you have to pull the shades open. But what is the detail? Right, it's like the rules of engagement. You have to be broken open before the light can come in. I mean, look at this. The light is exploding here. Aries is Martian energy, and any resistance to the motorcycles and now the fucking slide saw. God damn it. The resistance is if I crack open in any way. If my shield is down, that means I lose. Like I will be murdered on the battlefield and I'll never recover. But the other aspect of Martian energy is I'm going to observe the enemy. I'm going to find out what we have in common, what are their needs. Let's share resources. Let's have a diplomacy and a committee and stuff, right? It's like let's see what our common goals are. And that can't happen until this cracking open happens, this pressure cooker of that sends you back into the vision and reminds you that there are people like you. And if you're holding on to your true self and not caught up in like espionage, right? I am disguised as one of these other people, and I have to make sure that I am constantly on top of myself so that I don't slip up and let them know that I'm really a star being. All right, what are you talking about? I'm just like one of you. Hello, fellow students. So that Band-Aid has to be ripped clean off in order for the like soul detector to turn on. All right. If you want to get a personal reading, let me move my camera. Oh, there we go. All right. I have a complete list of readings that I offer and how much they cost in the description box underneath the video. If you'd like to energy exchange, donate, hit that tip jar. That's PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. And then if you'd like stuff, I've got merch and prints and actual art items. I've got a coupon code for Etsy there. I've got coloring books, dark poetry. So there's between these sites over here, there's going to be like shirts and phone cases, pillows, blankets, other little knickknacks, drinkware, mouse pad, coasters and stuff. And then art prints, which is G-clay on paper, and photo prints, which is just what it sounds like, wrapped canvases. Actual art items is like stuffed animals. Got these foam lotuses there, and the template if you want to make your own. And then just other flat stuff like drawings and paintings in watercolor. There's an etching in there. Some mixed media kind of stuff. I think that's it. All of this is through the link tree, linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. So if you go through the link tree to my Etsy shop, that coupon code should pop right in there. And then you can follow me on social media if you're nasty. I think that's it. Should be pretty good. I'm just like so brain dead from all of the distractions and interruptions during this video. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlists tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.